But what are those scribbles for?
The monsters I hunt. Professor Anders, Anna Ripley, the Briarwoods, and until about an hour ago, Kyrian Stonefell. In my dreams, I swore to make a list of those who wronged me.
Episode 7 starts with another welcome flashback of Percy's days as a child in Whitestone, with his sister Cassandra in their private lessons with Professor Anders. This opening scene gives us a quick explanation about the before-mentioned Whitestone stone, which is mined and purified into what's known as residuum glass. It acts as a powerful arcane amplifier. I can understand why Delilah, as a necromancer, really wants to get her hands on it, but why so much? If you've seen Critical Role Campaign 1, you know why. If you haven't, then you've got a lot to look forward to. Welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like to help spread it out to further people, and let's get into Vox Machina, episode 7. Anders is, however, denied by Percival's father the permission to increase production of the residuum glass and told to stick to his job of educating the Drollo children, clearly giving us an indication and an insight into why Anders turns on the family later on in their life. Thrown back into present day, Vox Machina are fleeing with Archie and the Resistance after their daring prison break from the previous episode. They split off to spread the word of Archie's escape and to find a safe house for future planning. It doesn't take long for Vax and the rest of the team to demand answers from Percy after getting a better look at his transformation during the revenge on Stonewall. Vax, furious with Percy, lets him know that he will not hesitate to kill him should he ever point his weapon at any of them again. Vex calmly takes control of the situation and reasons with Percy, saying that they said no more secrets, and we are given the story of how he survived after the Briarwoods attack and how his rage, pain, suffering led him through dreams to the creation of the pepperbox gun. And did you notice the Matt Mercer NPC for this episode? I believe it is this person here working on the fishing docks in Percy's flashback. Percy briefly mentions that he swore to get his revenge, and Vax asks the targeted question of, swore to who? But it goes unanswered. Percy lists the 5 names on each barrel of the gun, and Scanlan asks who the 6th name is. We don't get an answer, but if you have a keen eye, you might have noticed Percy's shadow answering that for us. Keyleth finally connects with the Sun Tree, and we see how it is corrupted over time and the necrotic energy draining its life from below the roots. However, trying to help, she lights it on fire and causes Vex, who is already frustrated with her for personal reasons, to lash out at her. Vax quickly coming in to defend her, only causing Vex to be a little bit more miffed. Archie pipes up and says that this is Whitestone's best chance now that Percy Drollo has returned. Hesitant, however, Percy only really wants to save his sister, but luckily both plans are on the same track and meet the same needs. The planning begins and Vox Machina hide outside of Anders' home, which is heavily guarded and has Cassandra inside. They need some kind of distraction. Enter the Scan Man. We get a good moment of the group openly treating Scanlan like he doesn't actually know what he's doing and that he's not capable of doing these things on his own. And I believe that this is a setup for something that will happen in the future after the Briarwood series. If you know, you know. I think this is a build-up that we're seeing, as in previous episodes, Scanlan is just the funny guy. He is just the one who makes jokes. He's not very serious. He can't do serious things. So I really like that they're slowly seeding in that that's how the group see him. Kind of incapable of doing something on his own. Scanlan heads off and we get a solid solo mission of Scanlan breaking into the Duke's house, which very quickly goes to shit.
Oh shit.
He downs the 3 potions he has. Firstly, being able to cast Misty Step for a period of time. Also, fun Easter egg, the guards are playing Dungeons and Dragons. The second potion, casting what I believe is the Enlarge Reduce spell, causing him to reduce to a smaller size. And finally, taking the third potion, just before being captured, he soon begins vomiting up fire. A potion of fire breathing. I love the visual of it not just being a fire breath, but because he's so shocked at what this potion actually is, he's actually just coughing up fire. He's vomiting fire and then breathing it out and screaming it out in some cases and just causing chaos everywhere. Very Scanlan, very Vox Machina. Scanlan escapes into a room of various creatures that the Duke has killed and mounted their heads on the wall, and he pulls out the polymorph spell scroll and begins to sing the incantation, transforming into a Triceratops. He bursts through the door, taking multiple strikes, dashing up the stairs, charging into anything and anyone that gets in his way before meeting Vox Machina's greatest threat, another door. Cutting to the group, the distraction is a success, and Vox Machina make their assault on the building. Grog, no longer happy to wait, kicks down the door and is met with a barrage of arrows. But I mean, come on guys, you really wanted to shoot Grog with a bunch of arrows? We all make poor choices. He finally goes into a rage and leaps into battle, taking out multiple guards with Vex and crew backing him up. Percy spots Anders escaping into another room and gives chase. Scanlan, alone on the burning roof of the Duke's home, is bloodied, battered, and being beaten by the Duke. He brings up his magical hand, and there is an epic sword fight with the middle finger that takes the place of Scanlan's sword. But however, as amazing as that scene was, the hand is no match for the Duke. About to deal the final blow, we get the Scanlan calling card, and he blasts the Duke with the crotch shot. Also, the Duke drops the C-bomb, and though I am totally okay with all swearing of any manner, and dropping the C-word is no big issue to me, that was a big drop. I know that that is very offensive to a lot of people. They really don't like that, so I'm surprised that they actually put it in the show. Anders gets behind a locked door, but Percy blasts through it, and there we have Anders holding a dagger to Cassandra. Percy threatens him, but Anders, unafraid, does something I did not remember happening. He slits her throat. When I first watched this episode, I actually was really disappointed. The Scanlan solo mission in the stream was the earliest memory I've ever had of loving the show, genuinely laughing so much and enjoying the chaos that Vox Machina was, and just seeing it all somehow come together. And so I was so excited to see this animated, and what I got at the first viewing, I just went, that was just so bland and quick and boring, and I just expected more. And so I was ready to give it 2 out of 5 trinkets. However, I did sit down, I rewatched the episode 2 or 3 times, as I do for these videos, and the more I watched it, the more I realized I need to get out of the Critical Role stream head. I need to move away from that. And remember, this is a cartoon that they have adapted from, 36 hours of Briarwood arc into just 12, 30-minute, 22-minute, really, episodes. And so I started to look at it through the lens of, this is an adult cartoon show that I love that's adapted from a show that I love. What is it like? And all of a sudden, I just started to enjoy it more. This episode gave us so many amazing things. It gave us more Percy backstory. It really showed everyone what the residuum was and how important that's going to be. It showed us Cassandra, a grown-up, and a potential death. It showed us the little shadow moment for Percy. We got the Scanlan Triceratops. We got these great Dungeons and Dragons aspects animated again through the potions and the spell scroll. We got this awesome crotch shot from Scanlan as his calling card. It was just all the things I love bundled up into a really short episode. And so my entire view has changed. I actually think this is one of my favorite episodes now because I took the time to sit back and go, what is this like as a Critical Role show, not why hasn't it got all the Critical Role stream stuff in it? And so I'm actually going to give this one a 4 out of 5 trinkets because it did a lot for the show. It set up a lot of exposition. It set up a lot of story plots. It's pushing it forward. It's going really well. The only thing is that I just felt like some of the hits weren't hard. I really think back to episode 4 where though I know Vox Machina weren't going to die in that episode, they were getting so beaten by those wraith, undead, ghostly creatures that I really thought, you're gonna die. And I really want to feel that more. And I think when we get into the Briarwoods and they start showing up, I think I'm going to get that feeling back. But overall, fantastic episode. Absolutely loved it. What were your thoughts? Comment down below. And until the next video, go roll some dice.